Hello, beloved. This is Lainie Love Dalby beaming in the cosmic creatrix of the Sacred Revolution Multimedia Oracle deck and Oracular Astrologer, and wanted to come in today to do a reading for the new moon in Virgo today. And so Mars in Gemini is in a tight square with the sun and moon in Virgo, which is very tense energy. Is anyone else's gut in knots today? Virgo rules the gut. I know that mine is. Shout out in the comments if so. Mars energy is activating, and it can be confrontational, and it can cause a lot of friction, but Mars is also motivating and fiery and giving us agency and capacity. So this time can lead to forward movement and motivation to work with Virgo themes. And the Virgo themes are around illness and wellness, our sacred service to others, and sacred rituals and habits for our well-being. Seeing a lot around this in the cards that came through from the Sacred Revolution Oracle today as well. So a part of this is, with Mars and Gemini, is to be very mindful of your words, because Mars and Gemini can be reactive and impulsive and lead to arguments and strife and power dynamics coming out of balance. So knowing that words can be used as weapons, but they can also be used as a healing balm. So be mindful of what word spells you are weaving during this time. Slow down a little, take lots of naps. Venus is trine Chiron, which is bringing in great healing as well, and capacity for greater awareness for where healing needs to happen in our lives and where we want to step more into our sacred service to others, more into our shameless sparkle. And a couple of the cards coming through today, again, seem to speak to this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the cards, which I'm so excited to share with you today. And the first card we have is number 5, which is Awaken Your Visionary Third Eye. So just taking in the medicine of each of the cards first. Awaken your visionary third eye. And this is actually the card associated with Oracle and Tarot. I'm going to say more about that. These two cards came in together, which is number 1, the sacred union of your humanity and divinity, and number 10, architect of the ancient future. This is actually the card of the High Priestess. This card was almost called the Priestess of the Ancient Future, and the sacred space holder and priestess is also associated with Virgo. That's the more ancient meaning of Virgo. So I love this combination here. I'm going to say a lot more about this too. The next card that came through was number 3, which is repair your root. It's all about healing the root chakra. Just let yourself take that in. Got a lot of serpent medicine here today. Some more ecstatic embodiment energy there as well. Earthy, earth medicine. Virgo is earth. And then the Great Homecoming, which is one of the crowned jewel North Star cards of the deck, coming into our full authentic power. So the Great Homecoming, again, very grounded, very rooted, very earthy, very embodied. Okay, so we're gonna start here. And I love that this card came through today because it speaks to holding a larger vision. This is really about seeing a larger vision, moving towards that vision, piecing out the action steps you need to actually create that. And Virgo is very tangible in a lot of ways. It helps us to create sacred structures to bring our visions into being. So this feels like the high level card, the sort of spirit, visionary, high level energies that are present here. And if we tune into them, what is the larger vision that we are moving towards, that we are holding for ourselves, and what daily ritualized action steps do we need to take to bring that vision into being? So as we awaken our third eye, as we become and step into the archetype of the visionary dreamer, which is this card, as we are co-creating and dreaming the new world into being with each other, what action steps on a daily basis, what rituals, what sacred structures do we need to hold us in a good way for our wellness, for our well-being, so that we can bring our sacred service to the world? So really loving that. And the other thing I want to mention with this was our card for all of August in our Soul Sparkle Sanctuary Inner Circle. We have a pillar that we move with and a theme every month. And so our theme was Awaken the Visionary Third Eye. And what's so exciting is that today, for the new moon in Virgo, we are launching in the Academy the How to Create, Publish, and Sell Your Own Oracle or Tarot Deck course. There's going to be more info below, but it is connected deeply to this card. So I love that this card wanted to show up today. So if you are looking for sacred structure to support you in creating your own Oracle deck, then I highly recommend that you check that out. It's everything you need all in one place. I share really intimately from my journey, all the tools, all the false starts, all the pitfalls, all the research, the connections, everything you need to birth your deck into being in the 3D. So definitely check that out. But with this energy, it does feel about like how can we create those sacred structures to support our visions and our dreams? What do we need to do every day in a real tangible way to care for ourselves, to care for our bodies, to care for our well-being, to be able to move towards that vision, to be able to offer our gifts and medicine to the ecosystem that is a part of that larger dream of the new earth that we're holding together. So that's the first card, a little download from that. And I love these two cards showing up together because we've actually seen her quite a lot, the ecstatic seeker archetype, because she's so associated with the North Node in Taurus, which is still being activated right now with Uranus. And there's quite a dance that is happening right now with that North Node energy and us stepping into our ecstatic embodiment, our full embodied presence, our sacred pleasure power, which this card is so much about. So again, it feels like, not only what are those sacred structures and rituals that we need to hold us in our well-being, but what is going to feel really good? How can we really listen to our bodies and ask, what do you need right now to be really deeply nourished with the nectar of the honey of the bees, with such sweetness? How can we tend to ourselves with sweetness and care? And she is this sacred space holder here. So it's almost, how can we hold space for ourselves, for our bodies? How can we hold our bodies as sacred, holy temple spaces that we are tending to lovingly so that we can be that pure channel in the world to deliver our gifts and medicine, as Virgo also inspires us to do, so we can be in our full embodied presence and really show up in a good way every day to move towards that larger vision that we are holding for our lives, for the world, for the transformation that is afoot in these catalytic times. And so really tuning in on the body level, the sensual body level, listening to all of the senses very deeply, touch, taste, scent, hearing, smell, like letting yourself really tune in on that level to say, what do I need to honor and nourish and tend to my holy body temple? Almost like the practice of sweeping the temple. What is it that you need to do on a daily basis to sweep the temple, to keep the temple clear? What tending rituals, those sacred habits, those sacred structures you can put in place to support you on the physical body level? And, she is the channel, the pillar between heaven and earth. She is the one that is becoming divinized light in matter and form. And so, purifying the channel here. What do you need to purify the channel to call forth the level of light that you are meant to hold with your sacred work in the world? To really purify the vessel for that shameless sparkle, for you to fully come out of hiding in your full essence and who you're here to be. So really tuning into that. What do you need to purify the vessel to come into your full ecstatic embodiment now, here, and the sacred structures to support you in that? And Virgo rules the gut, and I know personally for me, I'm going to be doing a juice cleanse to reset my system. So it's like really tuning in. What do you need? What structures are going to help support you in your deeper healing? Because that's the piece that feels like it's coming forward next. That piece around, we have that capacity for great healing now, and repair your root is the card that came through, and I was feeling the energy of the Heal the Body Harm card, and these two cards are very connected, and though that card didn't come through, it feels like there is a continuum between the two of them, especially for this particular new moon in Virgo energy with the square with Mars, because there's a tension. There are things that, if there are places in your healing journey where you haven't yet moved through a roadblock that has been present for you, or you've had a long-standing pattern with Chiron, maybe an ancient wound that you've been carrying, it's going to be stimulated now, and you can step into a new way of being with it. You can really come to it in a new way. You can set intentions for a true healing of these energies in your life. And this card is really about coming into your full grounded presence here on earth, healing anything that is keeping you from being here on earth in a good way, in a human body. It's like, yes, we are spiritual beings, but we are having a human experience. So how can you heal any of those places that has kept you disconnected from the tangible earth, from connecting deeply with the earth and the medicine of the earth and the sustenance of the earth? So this card is about returning fully into our gravity, letting gravity ground and root us down into the earth, and to help us truly return, and to return to a place where we feel healed, where we feel whole, where we feel integrated, where we feel supported on the journey, where we feel deeply resourced. So looking at the places in your life, where is it that you need to bring in more nourishment for your well-being so that you feel resourced on your journey to bringing your sacred work to the world, to bringing that larger vision forward, that larger dream. So where is it that you still need to root in, heal any of the places, the patriarchal energies that have kept you from being deeply connected in your own body, in your own root, in your own gut and sacral chakra, that has kept you disconnected from those energies, that spiritual, creative, and sexual power energy that is so essential to be flowing, to be able to bring our sacred medicine and gifts to the world, our sacred work. And so really looking at, where are you being called for that deeper healing now? With that Venus trine Chiron, where is there a capacity for greater awareness of where the healing needs to happen, where these long-standing, old, maybe even ancient patterns need to be healed? I know for me personally, there has been a long-standing wound around my inner hustler coming in and really bulldozing me, bulldozing my body. A lot of it comes from living in New York City for 20 years, but also comes from having a hustler father who was a multi-time entrepreneur, multi-business entrepreneur, this energy that is so alive in me, and part of my Chiron wound as well. But it is, in a way, if I keep going in that direction, it will kill me. I can no longer operate in that way. It is not in service to me, to my sacred work, to the gifts I have, to the medicine. And so I've been deeply confronted by that wound in this, because it is part of not only illness and wellness, but also my service to others. And my North Node is in Virgo with my Saturn. And so there is like establishing sacred structures to hold me and those that I work with is extremely important medicine. And so that's a place where I'm being confronted and it's bringing greater awareness to that path, that I can no longer keep going like this. It is a non-negotiable. I must create new patterns. I must create new ways of being and working, specifically offering my sacred work to the world in ways that are sustainable, that are resourced, that are actually realistic in a lot of ways. It's like I see my spiritual self, but like can't always see my human self and my human capacities. And it's that superwoman complex. I feel like I can do everything. And it's like, no, actually I cannot. I'm a human being. And so it's really finding that place for you. What is that greater awareness of your own healing that is calling you forward now? And you know what that is. Maybe it's really addressing and it's most likely going to be some aspect of your well-being and your health, illness and wellness, that fine line, and really looking at where is it that you can come into greater well-being in your body, to greater wellness. What is it that you need to bring online? Where is it that you need to heal to feel more well, more whole, more integrated in your being, and able to be rooted, grounded, present in your sensual embodiment as you bring forward your sacred gifts and medicine and the realization of those big dreams that you're holding. So that really feels like the medicine of this, of like going deep into repair and healing, anything especially on the physical body level with your well-being, with your connection to sustenance and the earth, really looking at that for yourself. And I know I don't always share very personal anecdotes, but today it just feels very resonant because this energy is so present and it's very tense and it's really uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. The last couple of days I've been feeling the energy's already building and it's not an easy time. It's a little crunchy and my urge to you would be to stick with it, because that tension, that agitation, that's the door to your healing. That's the portal to move through, to alchemize, to get to the other side of the gifts of what are here in this. And so just wanting to presence that since we're here, we're connecting. This is a space where we can be real. I'd love to hear about your journey below in the comments too. Like, what is up for you in this energy? For those of us who are deeply spiritually sensitive, we feel this stuff. That's why my gut is like in knots today. So what are you feeling? How are you feeling? How is this energy really landing in your ecstatic embodiment? And what is that deeper healing that you feel is calling you forward? And with the Great Homecoming card, this just feels like such a beautiful end cap on all of this energy, because this is the whole purpose. Because we are coming home to ourselves, we're coming home to our truth, we're coming home to the earth, we're coming home to each other, we're rooting in fully to our sovereign agency, to our being. And here she is emerging in this whole new way of being, in her rainbow light, in her essence. She's deeply nourished with the medicine of the hummingbirds who memorize thousands of flowers and only go back to the ones that nourish them the most. And that is really the invitation here. It's like, what are those rituals, those practices, those structures of nourishment that really nourish you the most, that are going to support you in stepping forward in your full light and medicine and shameless sparkle, for you living each day in your revolutionary potential, for you being in your peak wellness and well-being with your vessel pure and clear, for the medicine that wants to flow through you out into the world, into the ecosystem. Because when we are all at home in each other, we are offering our unique nutrient to the ecosystem, and then we can all thrive. So there is this theme of really wellness, and when we are rooted in ourself, in our truth, in our bodies, in the earth, in our ecstatic embodiment, in our sacred pleasure power, when we are that pure channel of light between heaven and earth, we are at home and we are able to vision and dream that next level of who it is that we are becoming, moment to moment to moment, and really letting ourselves lean into that. And so looking at, if there are any places, because these cards are very connected as well, is there any place where you don't yet feel at home, whether it's in your body or whether it's in your business or whether it's here on earth or whether it's in your finances or whatever area of your life, where is it that you struggle to feel at home, to feel well, to feel balanced? And to really lean into that and to really tease that apart as well as part of this greater invitation and awareness around your healing. What is keeping you from that full return to your truth, that full centering in who you are and who you're here to be, and bringing that forward out into the world, because she is emerging out into the world, offering her sacred gifts to the greater good. And that is such a core theme of Virgo. It's really being in service to others, because when we are fully rooted in our bodies, we are fully in our power, and we are able to stand in that sovereign power and offer our unique gifts and soul sparkle to the collective. And so this is a big invitation here, and really that nourishment. And I love the paintbrush here too, because this is a process of creating structures that are going to be in service, sacred rituals, habits, whatever you want to call them. I prefer ritual to habit, and let that support you as you step forward and fully shine. As you know, that's why we gather here. I am on a mission to co-create a constellation of millions of star beings that are sparkling shamelessly for the good of all in their full power and sovereignty. That is why we move with the ancient wisdom of the moon and the stars and the cosmos, and tune in with oracle and divination to support us on the revolutionary journey, continuing to show up, continuing to do what matters most. And, this new moon just really feels like such an invitation to tune in with the body, to tune in with healing, to tune into our well-being and what it is that we need to bring online now for our physical health, our physical well-being, and all aspects of our being, our emotional well-being, our spiritual well-being. What sacred structures and rituals do you need to put in place and commit to in a disciplined way to be able to truly thrive now and to live into that larger vision and dream that you're holding of offering your full gifts and medicine to the world? So this feels so very important, and as a part of that, making sure it's in your ecstatic embodiment that you're landing. All the things that you're doing to nourish are to really help you heal and return home to yourself, to your truth, to who you're here to be now. And so inviting you to really tune in around those ideas and those concepts, share in the comments below. Would love to hear what sacred structures are you bringing online? How are you tuning in to support your well-being, your overall well-being at this time, to be able to offer your sacred gifts to the world as a space holder? She is also here, she, they, the priestess energy, the priest energy, to be able to hold space for the birth of this new earth, to hold space for the collective rising, to hold space for deep sacredness and reverence and returning to the heart of what matters most. And so that is what I would love to leave you with, is this invitation to tune into the heart of what matters most for your well-being, for your sacred work, for your physical health especially, and to really let that all integrate in this new moon, and to, if it feels good, make some proclamations or mantras. Again, you can write it in the comments so we can uphold and celebrate you, and really help to tune into what is it that you deeply need to be nourished now, to heal, to really come into and motivate that next level with Mars there, that motivation into your full sovereign power in all aspects of your being. So, inviting you into that, to become that pure vessel, that channel in this time as the Virgo priestess, sacred space holder, and one who is visioning and dreaming the new world awake together. So thank you so much for joining me today for our Oracular Astrology reading. Again, if you're interested in creating your own Oracle deck, be sure to check out the course link below. It is live today. There's an awesome early bird and lots of bonuses when you jump in. And as always, I'm also still doing one-on-one Oracular Astrology. So if you're looking for a little more targeted guidance, if you're not sure the answers to some of the inquiries that came up today, I would be happy to support you one-on-one in that way as well. And just so grateful for this opportunity to gather here, to share this space, to share in the journey, and would love to hear what comes through for you below, beloveds. And until next time, sparkle shamelessly for the good of all, and make sure you're very well rested and nourished on the journey while you're doing so. And be sure to like this video if it resonates, and to share it with friends and subscribe so you can receive more readings in the future. And we will see you next time. Bye for now.